Hey everybody, Icy Cat here. Yesterday I put up a video that was a leak regarding the possible new CTU, new character models for the new operators, what their names, abilities were, and a partial render of what the new map might look like. Now today there's a new piece in the puzzle for that series of leaks. We get a look at what one of the operator gadgets actually looks like in-game. So as I mentioned, yesterday I put out a video regarding leaks that had come out that were possibly revealing what the CTU country of origin was, the new character models for both the attacker and defensive operators, what their abilities did, and a partial screenshot of what the map looked like, some kind of a junkyard or scrapyard or something. So if you want to check out that information, if you haven't seen it already, click at the card at the top of the screen there, go back and check that out, see for yourself all of that information. Now what I'm going to put up here is just a reference for this one image, and this talks about the two new operators that we're getting here, and it says Gridlock is an attacker that puts down a red web tracker that when defenders run into it, they get damaged and it makes noise. Now we only had a text-based description on this, and these were leaks that were running rampant over on the forums and Reddit and a few other places too, and I had posted up some screenshots of what those were. But one of the original people that were involved in sending all of this information out wanted to further prove his claim because he was being kind of questioned like, yeah, right, this is kind of made up, there's no way. And so he was able to submit another picture that revealed what the attacker's gadget looked like in the game. So here you can see we have two of these red web trackers placed on the floor. We've got the in-game vault prompt there, and this looks like the stairs on Consulate that lead down to the back of the cafeteria. Now, why the person cropped the image this tightly, I'm a little unsure. They could have definitely shown more of what was happening here, but we do get a look at this device that seems to fit that description that was given to us for Gridlock. So we have this red web-based trap here that has these like spikes or barbs or something sticking up out of it. And then you see the webbing is formed by these like rigid pole structures that hold the whole thing together. Again, according to that description, if a defender steps on these, they will take damage. There's some kind of a tracking thing that's applied to it. I don't know if that's like a alibi marker or a jackal tag or something like that. And then it also apparently makes some kind of a noise. Now, as I said with yesterday's information leaks and the character models and what was shown of the map, I will say the same thing here that I said with that. It is possible that the image was photoshopped. It is possible that the leak is faked. However, more and more information keeps coming out sort of backing it up. Honestly, the most obvious thing that you can see in this image, though, is the fact that if this really is the trap, that color is going to allow it to be something that is very easy to avoid in most cases. This is an example of a very high contrast situation. So you have that bright red on top of like that sandstone beige tan kind of a backdrop, and it really makes it pop out. Now there's going to be other areas where it's going to blend in a lot more. For instance, there's a lot of red carpeting on the map Cafe. Lots of areas you can put this where it's going to become almost invisible. On other surface materials, it may also stand out a little bit less. If you have a complex pattern on a rug or something, it may blend in a little bit more. Likewise, if you have some kind of a dark reddish brownish wood kind of a color, like maybe something on skyscraper, maybe it won't stand out as much and be a little bit easier to miss in those cases. I don't think you're ever going to really run into a situation where it's going to be completely invisible, except for maybe on the actual red carpeting. But there's definitely some areas where it's going to be a lot harder to spot. Although for anywhere else, it's going to stand out like a bit of a sore thumb. Of course, other ways to use this would be ways that you don't have to necessarily depend on the visual sight, but you're setting it up so that it's more that they're unaware that it's there. Maybe you're putting it on the other side of a vaultable surface. So if you see a deployable shield, you put it down, and then if they hop onto the other side of it, it would be kind of like a blind landing for them and they would step on it in that case. Or maybe you put it around a corner so that as they run around the corner, they step onto it. Yes, it's very visible, but you're more depending on the player's movement to carry them into it in those kinds of situations. However, as they are in this example, they look like they would be not only very easily avoided, but also very easily taken out. I would assume that these could be destroyed by impact grenades, nitro cells, or probably even just plain shooting them. Maybe even a melee hit would do the trick, and if that's the case, having these bright red colors are going to wind up making these traps be not as effective as one might hope. So what do you guys think? Does this sound like an interesting trap to you? Something that's like an attacker version of barbed wire that causes damage, applies tracking to the character stepping on it, and emits a loud sound of some type? Does this sound like it would make a good anti-roaming device? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to make sure that you're staying up to date on the latest information as I make it available. You can also follow me over at IcyCat25 on either Facebook or Twitter. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.